So in this chapter, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight what makes a good internship. There's really three main criteria to evaluate your possible internships on. The first one is that you're doing actual work. The second is that you're forming connections. And the third one is you're enjoying the work you're doing. So let's break down each one of these. So the first one, you're doing actual work. What do I mean by that is when we're looking for an internship, we want an internship where we're actually doing something meaningful and something impactful for the company. We don't want that like one of those cushy Fortune 500 internships where they just shuttle you through a program, show you a great time, teach you a bunch, and you don't actually really do anything, because that's not going to be something that's going to help us land an awesome PM role. The best example of this is when I was working at Juicero, the startup. I was essentially a full-time employee. I coordinate entire sales events. I coordinated an entire weekend event. I created marketing campaigns, ran our social media. I was doing a lot of tangible things that I could go back, and I still talked about even in my interviews 3 and 4 years, 3 years later. That's the type of work that we want to be doing. So stuff that's going to turn into a tangible result that you're able to show. The next one is you want to go somewhere where there's really smart people that you're able to form connections with. And those connections don't necessarily have to be lifelong, but just people that you can learn from, that are willing to mentor you, and people that have been on a similar career path for you. I think a lot of people will take internships, but they don't really get anything out of this. When, again, going back to Juicero and even ZX Ventures, I met a ton of people. The head of the Amazon Echo and the Amazon Fire Stick worked at Juicero, and we still had phone calls years after I was an intern at Juicero. And a lot of my referrals for PM roles came from people that I met at Juicero, because it was a great venture-backed company that had a ton of really smart people. And obviously the company failed, but they had a lot of great people that I was able to network with. So you want to go somewhere where you think you can form a lot of those connections, and most of the large tech companies is going to offer that. But if you're comparing two offers, really look at the type of people that you're able to meet and surround yourself with at those companies. And lastly, you want to just enjoy the work you're doing. Don't necessarily take an internship just because you think it'll look better than one or the other. Take one where you're going to be really passionate about, because ultimately the one that you're passionate about, the work you're doing, you're going to perform better. People just do better when they enjoy what they're doing. End of story. So I highly suggest don't overlook where you're working and what you're working on, because that's going to be incredibly important to your mental health and future success. So just don't make that a criteria that's overlooked when you're going through the internship process of picking which one you want to work at. So again, the three criteria that you should really evaluate your internship on are: 1, that you're doing actual work; 2, you're forming connections; and 3, you're enjoying the work you're doing.